Try it again. Love you.
Hey, friends, don't go pushing.
Hi, Matthew. Hello, John Deere. What's up, everybody? Hello. Sorry about that. I was doing some stuff, and the internet went off, and I had to call in reinforcements. I apologize. Matthew says I'm going to end up escaping this damn place. I bet you so. I can only imagine. Anyway, I mean, like I said, I believe me, I get it. Uh, Live was doing good and everybody was coming in and everything, but now let's see, is it going to be blurry or? Uh, I don't do this now. Six people watching, six thumbs up is it working? If somebody's in there, will you please? I still see myself moving, but there it goes. John Deere says being a little bit blurry, sounds cutting out. I think it might be because we got too much going on. Buggy says, "Hey Pops, y'all let me know if it keeps going. Do something different if it keeps having trouble." Matthew says, "Yep, I already tried escaping on Christmas Day." Dang it. Daryl says, "Hey, we back. Yeah, I am still having trouble. I've got it up and going. The internet's got it, but I may have too much going on. If it keeps going blurry and cutting out, let me know and I'll try something different." DK says you're a sheep shagger. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Buggy says, "Well, give it a second to blurry. You're blurry, but that's with a lot of Wi-Fi issues." Reaper says, "Meow again." Hello, Reaper. Let me try. We're gonna have to do something different. Let's try that. See if this will do anything better. We'll just have to do. That's a little bit blurry, but still cutting. Let's see. Let it recycle around. I just tried to cut one of them off. We're trying. God dang it. Daryl says, "How was your day today?" It was good. I don't know if you saw the short or not, but I think we put up a short about working on the SS. Done Justin's exhaust. It turned out real good. I'm gonna try something else. Y'all bear with me for just a second. Does that make any difference? Let's see. What is this thing doing now? What in God's name? Um, Why is it doing this? There it goes. All right, let's see. Daryl, so I'm back on your sheep. Let's see. We usually, Daryl, it's a little bit better, I believe. John Deere said still a little bit blurry. Sound keeps cutting. John Deere said out. Reaper said mine was tiring. I forgot what it's like to live on a farm. Daryl said awesome. I spent the day with the ladies. Then about 3 went in and cleaned up a new well table. I did see that short you were talking about your well table. I thought that was a nice looking well table. Boggy says it better be with due time, not to move as much. SD said hi. Hello, SD. John Deere says a little bit, still a little tad blurry. I do. I cannot even see the names back there. I'm not going to chime. We're going to have to deal with it, I guess. I don't know what in the world. Lotus said hello, hello. Daryl said, Lotus. Lotus said, what's up, Boggy? Lotus said, what's up, Daryl? John Deere said, what's up, Lotus? Lotus said, meow, Reaper. Boggy said, yo, Lotus. Matthew said, well, it was Christmas, so my racing friends came over to visit me, and I asked them, hey, you want to race? So they said, sure. So I started ripping out my IVs and would have been able to leave, but they stopped me. Dang. Lotus said, what's up, Turbo? John Deere said it's doing better now. Just everything is so bright. I don't know what in the God's name it's doing. I do not want to. That change anything? No, God dang, that made it worse, didn't it? Let's see. Three Wheeler said, what's up? John Deere Lotus. Kevin says, hello, brother. I'm having chicken. I eat chicken right before the live. Chester brought us a rotisserie chicken yesterday, and I heated it up just a little bit ago, and I ate the wings and the legs, and Randy took the white meat home. What's up, Three Wheelers? Subscribe to my channel. I am second one. Daryl said it's fine, man. It's a bit blurry, but it works. Matthew said the main reason I didn't fight them when found out I wanted to leave is because I didn't want to leave Sean. They haven't transferred me yet, but they will soon. Three Wheeler said, Daryl. Matthew said, hi, Daryl. Melissa Trotter says, I do remember. I do. You remember me? Yes, I do. Daryl said, Three Wheeler, Matt, Pape said, how's your night going? It's going good. This internet's about to aggravate me, though. It looks like it's clearing up on my phone. Let's see. Kevin said, I'm worried I will be reincarnated as a cockroach. Will straighten your life out. They're hard to kill, though. John Deere said, what? That's what she said. 18 people. 11 thumbs up. Thank y'all. It was going good a minute ago and had 1 subscriber. And I'll be dang, I kind of got overwhelmed, so I just stopped live. I should have left it, but let's see. Three Wheeler said, "Sub John Deere, why was that guy driving a forklift on the road?" Kevin says, do you think being a cockroach is fun? I wouldn't think so. Daryl said, had chills for the first time today. Oh, really? Danny, let's talk something different, please. Let's see. John Deere said, "Yeah, that was a forklift four-wheeler funny, not right. Funny, right?" Daryl said, "Danny, don't spam." Yes, please, Danny. John Deere said, "There's a cockroach truck in front of you, Randy. I know, right?" Three-wheeler says, "Yeah, riding it like a bull." Matthew said, "Daryl, you'll never had chills before today." Three-wheeler said, "Spam, is that spam?" Daryl said, "No, bet it won't happen again." Max said, "What's up?" "Hello, Max Tricks." Seven said, "Because there was a fork in the road." Lotus says, "I had McDonald's for the 5,000th time." I bet so. Three-wheeler said, "Yeah, it's a spam emoji." I thought that's what that was. Roscoe said, "Stepped away for a minute." Well, you didn't miss much. Me just trying to fight this internet. Let's see. Max the Tech says, "I want a spam emoji." Yeah, that'd be cool, wouldn't it? Daryl said, "Need to find real food, Lotus." Kevin said, "I still don't trust Bugs Bunny." Oh man, I like Bugs Bunny. I don't know why nobody would trust Bugs Bunny. John Deere said, seven, he was talking about on my channel, subscribe. Popeye said, McDonald's isn't food, it's fast food. Kevin said, "My dog is begging for my food. Should I give him some?" Yeah, you ought to share. Daryl said, "Vivo, vivo." Randy says, "I am home, old man." Yeah, I saw that. It said, "You have arrived." Hudson said, "Play the song Home Among the Gum Trees." I don't have that song. Daryl said, "Need a new trailer emoji." Yeah, you're right. I need to get ready to put one up there because I have no idea how to do it. Daryl said, "R3. Max Attack says, "No, fast food is hitting a deer at 65. Hey, you got a point there, too. Tenderize it right there on the spot. Kevin said, "Okay, I do it for you." Matthew said, "Little Randy." John Deere said, "Randy, there's a spider on your arm." Oh, no. Daryl said, "He taught me how. It's easy." See, he'd teach you stuff he won't even teach me. Rippin said, "What are your thoughts on gooning?" I don't know what that is. The Dr. 660 said, "My favorite channel is back." Hey, boo-boos, hello, how you doing? Randy said, "Hey, Matthew and Daryl." Three-wheeler said, "Randy." Randy said, "Hey, three." Max said, "How do you get a spam emoji?" I have no idea. It was sent to me. Lotus said, "What's up, Daryl? Randall, the 30-year-old, 30th. Maria says hi. Randy said, "What's up, Lotus?" John Deere says, "Subscribe to you, Randy Jr." Daryl said, "I'll have to leave about 7:15. Tanya's truck battery died, so we will go and mine and pick up." That's fine, Daryl. I do understand. Believe me, if anybody in the world understands that, I do. Max the text says, I want a spam emoji. Kevin says that you still didn't get. I have not, Kevin. We've not had time. I've not sat down at this computer. I did this morning to check I always check to see about people subscribing, but outside of that, I've not been back on this computer. And it's one of them deals that Randy's got to be here at the same time. Lotus got a couple spam cans. Three Wheeler says, Max, the little smiley emoji in the chat bar to the bottom right, click that, and a list of YouTube emojis will come up. John says, got you, Randy, joking. Let's see what we got here. Mert says, hell yeah, brother. That's right. Lotus says, I got you, Mix. Lovely said, hi. Three Wheeler's got more spam cans. Let's see. Jay Ryan says, Fire American picture in the back. Thank you. Max Tex got the spam. He got them, dude. See, Max, you got it. All you had to do is ask. Trevor said him. Max Tex had to do something and get deleted, didn't he? Yeah, we don't talk like that here, Max, please. You know that. Three Wheeler says, you found it. John Deere said, what's the language, Max? Watch the language, Max. Kevin says, I miss Hulk Hogan. Lotus says, I am just coloring with my gel pens. Cool. John Deere said, no cussing, Max. Max says, lol. Rumpel said, hello again, Pops. Hello, Rumpel. Sorry about that earlier. I'm still having a small little difficulties, but everybody's trying to work with me. Randy says, thanks for the sub, John Deere. Lotus said, what's up, Rump? Max says, I wasn't cussing. What do you call that that second word there? After jackpot. Three Wheeler said, Rumple, what's up? Larry said, Larry said, good Baldy. Hello, Larry. Max said, it's a figment of your imagination. Yes, so was that message. Kevin said, my chicken is dry. Boy, I hate dry chicken. Rumble said, Three Wheeler, hello. Bikey said, what's your opinion on mafia bombing tragic kid bike? Kevin, I'll be honest with you, I ain't heard about it. We don't talk about it. We don't do politics or religion or any kind of controversial subjects. We're here to have a good time and positive attitudes. John Deere says, you're welcome, Randy Jr. Carlos said, what's up, Pops? Whoop, whoop. Hello. Lotus said, use lube, Kevin. Rumple said, big boys, hello. Three Wheeler said, big boys, what's up? Mick said, LMBO. Rumple said, Randy, hello. Daryl said, big. Rumple said, Lotus, hello. Carlos said, what's up, Rumple? Lotus said, Carlos said, what's up, Lotus? Damien said, sent 100 for 2 joules. This combo times 2, 100 for 2 joules. Thank you. Boggy said, what about me? What about me? Me? Well, now we got to talk about Boggy because we don't want to talk about everybody else. Lotus says, I know a religion we can talk about. Lotus said, yeah, I like making artwork and doing art ever since I was a little kid, and now I do it every day. Randy says, hey, Rumple. Lotus says, the Church of Boost. There you go. Three Wheeler said, where's the other guy, Pops? Can't remember his name. If you're talking about Randy, he's gone home, and Justin got his loud exhaust on his truck, and he had to made plans to go play, I believe it was Top Golf, or I don't know. He had to go take off and show his truck off. Can't say I blame him. Boggy said, I heard my name. Randy said, Three Wheeler Justin is out with friends after his exhaust job. That's right. Boggy says, not looking for attention. I heard my name. What? Boggy, I'm reading. Your name come up there. Lotus said, horsepower 316 says, do a Viva burnout. Three Wheeler says, okay, Justin. Daryl says, I saw the pic of the truck after the live last night. Sharp truck. It ain't too much different than mine. Boy, if I knew a good painter, I might have it all painted. You don't know of a good painter, do you, Metal Art Custom? I need one. I need a good, how can I say it? Good cheap job. No, I'm joking. Let's see. Carlos said, what's up, 3? John Deere said, what's up, big boy toys? 3 Wheeler said, whoop. What we got here? I guess I could say morals. I am from Columbia. Let's write Columbia down here. Morals, welcome. We do have a world map right here. We put pins in for people to come in, tell us where they're from. I'll make sure we get a pin in for you. Thank you. Carlos said, what's up, Jacob? Mattis said, hi. Daryl said, I missed something. Nah, you didn't. I just made a joke. 3 Wheeler said, Madison, what's up? Lotus says, I don't know about a painter, but I know a hell of a sander and a paint sometimes. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. So, Mr. What is it? McSander Sanders, something like that. John Deere said, there's a power plant, something blew up on the south. I just found out on YouTube News. I ain't heard about it, which I really haven't had nothing but my member stuff going on the TVs today. Randy said, Daryl, I sent you the new exhaust setup. 17 people, 15 thumbs up. Thank y'all. Let's see. Shadow Band said, I'm trying to find a 50 to 55 Chevy truck for an LS swap, but everyone around me wants 5 or 6 thousand for a pile of rust. Yeah, about everybody does now. Boggy says, whatever, I was trying to figure out who said my name because I haven't typed in a minute. Well, Boggy, I said your name. I may have. It could have been Boogie to come in here. I thought it was Boggy. I might have said your name wrong. Sorry. Hi, 3 Wheeler, said Madison. Lotus said, what's up, Madison? Lotus said, Sandy Sanders. That's what it was. Randy said, hi, Madison. Madison said, hey, Lotus. 3 Wheeler said, I see 15 and 15. I'm actually showing 20 and 17 now. Thank y'all. Lovely said, Daryl, there's a difference. None ask you for do artwork on cars. I do artwork on paper. Although I raised around cars, we both do artwork, just different ways. That's right. Kevin said, what do you think about this emoji? I can't really tell what it is. Is it Bigfoot? Mattis said, hey, Randall. Hi, Randall. Daryl said, man, that sounds good. John Deere said, Randy, I live somewhere behind Knoxville, Tennessee. Cool. Lotus said, it fits you, Kevin. Carlos said, are you Kevin? Randy said, Daryl, put it that. God dang it. Boy, I hate people like that. Real curious knob, whatever. Kiss my butt. Let's see. Randy said, Daryl, it puts dads to shame. Boggy says, you're fine. I was just confused. Yeah, it's my bad. I'm sure I said it wrong. Let's see. Lotus said, I said Boggy's forward to slow. Nicholas says, hello, how are you? I'm doing fine. Hope you are. Boggy says, and not thinking straight. Randy said, John Deere, that's not too far anymore. Nicholas said, waving. Lotus said, haha, just kidding. Panic said, hello, 4098. Daryl said, straight pipes is a figure of speech. If they are straight, they don't sound good. They have to have the bent to sound straight. Sound right. 3 Wheeler says, question for someone who might know, what would it cause a needle to seat to stick. Bad gas, clogged it, dirty gas. Lotus said, stop the spam. Let's see. Three-wheeler says, banned. Three-wheeler says, knob. Second warning, no spamming, please. Three-wheeler says, okay, Randy, thank you. Randy says, you're going for 24 hours. Three-wheeler says, I hate spam. Lovely says, okay, little Randy, thank you. Little Randy says, no problem. Boggy says, Lotus, I'm about to fit the mood to joke around about today. Sorry, brother. Not in the mood to joke around today, Lotus. So, Randy says, straight pipes on Black Betty sound good, though. Kevin says, you are cute. Lotus says, you need a hug, Boggy. Call a bunny. John Deere is speechless. Oh, there it is. Red Pretzel. CPT said, what's your stance on my... I don't have one. Boggy says, hell no hugs. Daryl says, we did tests on pipes in school on backflow and sound for pipes. 337 said, hello and much love from Kansas. Hope you're having a great day. Take care. All right, Kansas, let me write that down and I'll get a pin in the world map for you. Thank you for coming in. Like I said, we do have the world map right here. We will get you a pin in there. Thank you. Lotus said, I shouldn't tell Olivia to go randomly hug you. Lovely says, I know I am not a mod, but I like helping and I know most of the channel rules despite only being here a couple of days. That's why I give them warnings, not trying to cause trouble, just trying to help. You're doing fine, Lovely. Yeah, I do appreciate the help. Lovely says, little Randy. Boggy says, 8mm sore as hell, and my spine feels like a dog used it as a tug of war today. Lotus said, lol, that's a normal day, Boggy. Boggy says she knows better. I'm not the hugging type person. Gerald said, what did you do, Buggy? Kitty said, hey, hello, Kitty. We hadn't heard from you in a while. Glad you're back. Nickel Pony said, hey, Pops and all. Hello, Nickel Pony. Three-wheeler says, I don't know why, but the room looks comfortable, Pops. I'm doing a little bit of changing. I'm fixing to do some a lot of changes in here. John Deere said, hey, Kitty, where you been? Randy said, hey, Kitty. Lotus said, I'm not really either. Lovely says, hi, Nickel Pony. Kevin says, can you, God dang it. Kevin said, can you show how you react if the Bugs Bunny came into the door and started to, and started at you and left? Yeah, oh, yep. Lotus said, what's up, Kitty? How you been? Lovely says, Ernest, stop spamming, please. John said, it's okay. Just let me know next time. Daryl said, as long as they don't spam. Saul said, what's up? Kitty says, hey, Lotus, I'm okay. Three-wheeler said, unbelievable. Lotus said, there he goes again, every other person, Lotus now. Daryl said, who let the trolls out? I don't know. Boggy says, I overworked this, yeah. And now I'm slowed down by body starts. The repair process, and now I'm in pain. Bit more than pain tolerance. Buggy's in pain. Sorry about that, Buggy. I hope you feel better. John Deere said, these stupid spammers. Kitty said, Mike. Kevin said, ha ha. Lovis said, Origin, stop spamming and not the place for that. Carolyn said, hi, remember me? I'm not going to lie. I do not. I'm sorry. Daryl said, cat. Lotus said, you guys need to pay royalties to use the Lotus name. Boggy said, hey, Kitty, Lotus says 1 tire per use. Kevin said, thank you for making me laugh, brother. Nikki said, don't know what that says. Let me see if I can. Man, okay. Three-wheeler says, who's got the trolls trapped on? I know, right? Nikki says, where are you? I'm in my son's tire shop. And Nick says, and what are you doing? We've been here all day working and doing our things, and I'm here trying to have a good live and talk to a bunch of nice, good people. What about you? Kitty said, hey, Buggy. Three-wheeler said, spam. And Nicky says, buddy. Kitty said, where Carlos? Lotus said, three-wheeler, I do. Zone says, you have not, hope you are not too cold out there. And I'm not. Lotus said, that sucks, man. Take it easy for a bit. Make the millions do more. Three-wheeler said, set all of them lovely. Kevin said, oh, sorry, I forgot to like. Well, we got 19 people, 20 likes. Thank y'all. Carolyn says, I hope you have a blessed day, bro. I hope you have one too. Thank you. Three-wheeler says, how could you, Kevin? John Deere said, hit the like button, guys, please. Yes, please. Daryl said, lay flat on the floor on your back and a rolled towel over your neck. Relax like that for a bit. Astro says, greetings, Earthlings. Happy New Year. Greetings to you too, Astro. Three-wheeler said, double tap that screen, y'all. Kitty said, I was confused. The people name. Yeah, me too. Carlton says, I'm from Poland. I think, let me write it down. We'll get you in. Poland. Poland. Oh, phone fell. We'll get you into the world map. Thank you, coming in from Poland. John Deere said, hit the person from Poland. Greetings from the U.S. Hi, not hit. Hi. See, Nickel Pony said, temperature falling up there yet, Pops? It'll chill down, but they said it's supposed to be about 40 degrees difference from today to tomorrow. Kyle Dog says, how are you doing, Never Done Projects? I'm doing great. Hope you are. Kevin said, you deserve 1 million likes, brother. I wish I could get them. Daryl said, Nick. Three-wheeler says, hi, Nick. Cal says, how are you, Nick? Nickel Pony says, hey, Daryl and Three-wheeler. Three-wheeler says, Karina, hello, welcome to my Poland. Spare said, Southern accent. If you say so, I guess. 22 people in here, 22 thumbs up. Thank y'all. Carlos said, Carlo, damn it. Lotus said, what's up, Nick? 6700 said, hi. ABQ, I guess I could say. John Deere said, what's up, Nickel Pony? Joe Bird said, hi, guys. Hello, Joe Bird. Daryl said, I should do a map like that. I like it. I think it's cool. Three-wheeler said, Joe, my man. Joe Bird said, hey, three. Daryl said, Joe. Joe Bird said, hey, man. Nickel Pony said, not much. John Deere went to antique shopping with the warden today. Three-wheeler said, 22, heck yeah. Hudson said, do you support non-binary, trans, lesbians, furry, and black people? Let me tell you what I support. I support human beings And we don't have that discussion because if you're asking that question, you're not going to like my answer. I support human beings. I don't push my lifestyle on you. Don't push y'all's on me. Spare says, I'm from England and somewhere ended up here after drinking a hot chocolate. Hope it was a good guess. Yes. Spare's laughing. John Deere said, you're up to my channel, Nickel Pony. Daryl said, welcome, Spare. Hit the like and subscribe. Yes, please. John Deere said, doing autocorrect, subscribe to my channel, Nickel Pony. Kitty said, Jacob, I text you, Discord. Lotus says, I may only be 16, but I know how to keep mean people away. Three-wheeler, the only trap I have for trolls is my love and hope that they change. I try to give them a chance. Sometimes they don't let you. You can't help everybody. I can just say that. Joe Bird said, hey, lovely. John Deere said, okay, Kitty. Nickel Pony said, will do, JD. Man, it dropped in 9 people, but 23 thumbs up. Thank y'all. John Deere said, 2 more, got two channels, Nickel Pony. The link to the other one is in my main page. Subscribe there too, please. Whew, I got caught up. That was a little hard. Kitty said, hey, Nickel Pony. Steve O said, Staples in the house from Milwaukee. Let me write Milwaukee down and we'll see if we can get you a thing in. Let's see. We'll get you a pin in the world map over there. Papa says, how do you deal with a bunch of chaps that ask you stupid questions? If it's repetitive, I just, somebody delete it, but most of the time I'll just skip over it. Nickel Pony said, hello, Miss Kitty. Joe Bird said, hey, Steve-O. John Deere said, what do you do? What you been doing today, Randy? We worked on Justin's truck. We just, I didn't. My wife bought Justin a truck, and it's the SS. Looks just like my Intimidator, and we did a muffler delete and exhaust on it, and we did some work here in the office, and we just been doing a little random stuff. We did some more work on the SS, trying to get everything up and going the way we like it. Daryl said, Steve, has the weather started yet? Kevin said, I love you. Okay, Kitty said, hey, Randy. Hello, Kitty. Three-wheeler said, right on, lovely. I couldn't agree more. Sadly, I don't have that luck with trolls. Steve-O said, no, we're supposed to get mostly rain, maybe a couple of inches of snow tomorrow. Randy said, John Deere, I worked on Justin's truck and moved to small Vivo. Yeah, I forgot about moving the Vivo in the house. Daryl said, I just saw a few minutes ago, they said a lot of snow and wind. Three-wheeler says, hi, Steve-O. More, please find another channel. If you want to come out, that's fine, but do it somewhere else, please. Steve-O said, hey, Three-wheeler. Lovely says, if you wanted to get to know me, I am 10th grader. I am 16 old. I live daily with autism, but that doesn't define me. I am pregnant, meaning I can't walk, but I can stand for a short time. Well, I didn't know that. If you've told us before, I'm sorry, but lovely. Welcome to the channel. I am glad to have you here. Thank you. That says a lot. Three-wheeler says, I guess he is. Nickel Pony said, subscribe, JD. Three-wheeler said, Nick, smile. Lotus said, going to run. Have a great night. See you, Lotus. Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate your comments. If I used your name, I'm sorry. Lotus, see, I did it again. I read it. It's above Daryl. Sorry. Oh, wait a minute. Nope, Daryl said later Lotus. Kitty said, Nickel Pony, I subbed you. Popeye said, it's not cold here in Virginia. I enjoy the cold. I hate the cold. It's been beautiful today, though. Bossa says, hi, hello. Nickel Pony says, later, Lotus. Then it says, thanks, Miss Kitty. Three Wheeler said, no, Lotus. Kevin said, I'm still eating the chicken, going to blow up. Daryl said, you two and Joe are both good young men. Lovely says, I am a girl. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I call you a guy? I'm sorry. Three Wheeler says, Lowell, Kevin, 12 people in here, 23 thumbs up. I thought you were a girl. If I said boy or guy, I'm sorry. Or buddy, there's no telling what I might have said. I get to reading and I'll put words in there I'm not supposed to. Daryl said, I'm sorry. Daryl says, I didn't know. I didn't know. Let's see. Lotus says, nah, y'all good. I don't have to apologize. Y'all don't have to apologize. I am just letting you know. Well, that's good information to know, but we didn't mean to say anything out of the way. Randy says, Daddy put earrings on me. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. 15 people in here, 24 thumbs up. Thank y'all. Daryl's laughing. Kevin said, time goes by so fast when you are alive. It is. I can't believe it's already after 7. But I did have trouble at the beginning, so I don't know how long I've been on live now. But Kitty said, Lowell, Popeye said, what year SS did you wife get him? I think it's an 04. It's an 04. Mine's all-wheel drive. I mean, his is all-wheel drive. Mine is two-wheel drive. Mine is the Intimidator Dale Earnhardt's. Now, his is just the SS version, but it looks like mine black and everything. Let's see. John Deere said, what's up with these Skittles in the background? We've had them for a while. It'd take us a long time to eat all them Skittles. Doing a little cleaning up, trying to make the room look better. Randy said, JD, Skittles are yummy. Daryl says, R3 cleaned his desk. Yeah, we got to work. We got to move some stuff around for tomorrow's project. Kitty said, Lowell. Three Wheeler said, Daryl, by the way, sorry I wasn't in your live much either. I had a couple of guys from Modford, so I was doggone busy. We understand. Randy said, 04 SS. Daryl said, all good, 3 Wheel. John Deere said, I was just testing you, Randy Jr. Randy says, Dad cleaned it, Daryl. I helped a second. The HP printer won't work without a monthly subscription, so it's gone. Popeye says, they are good trucks. I like mine, I know that. Burger said, Jesus is the truth. Hell is real. We all sin. He died on the cross to pay for our sins, was buried and rose again the third day. Put your faith in him alone. You save trust in what he did for you. That's right, Burger. I agree. Thank you. We don't talk politics or religion. I read it because I do believe, and I don't want to be mean or anything like that, but we don't talk politics or religion in here. But you're welcome to stay if you want to continue the conversation, just not that one, please. Randy said, JD, it's all good, buddy. I can take jokes. Lovely says, yeah, I only been here since Christmas Eve, and I consider myself a second family. It's awesome how YouTubers communicate can be something so awesome and make you what you want to come back every day. Well, like I said, Lovely, I'm glad you're here. You're welcome. If there's anything we can do for you, let us know, and I do appreciate your support. Daz Boo says, have you just come out of jail? I've never been in jail. I'm an angel, man. I don't do nothing wrong. Daryl said they are sharp looking. I want two-wheel drive and bag it myself. I don't want to do a lot of cutting on my truck because it's a numbered truck, but I would like to have one I could play with. Nick Capone said, well said, lovely. Pape said my buddy had one we used to mash the gas pedal and drop the clutch. There you go. Three Wheeler said, I can get that, Pops. A lot of people get offended with religion talk. Yeah, and like I said, it's not trying to offend nobody, but we do have people all over the world with different religions, and that's not what this live's about. This live's have positive feelings, and some people, I do want to do work in here and stuff like that, but I also want a place where everybody can come in here and chat and have a good, clean chat for a bunch of friends. That's what I'm shooting for these 2 hours. Our work and everything, excuse me, is totally different, but for this live and this chat, for these 2 hours, I want people to be able to come in and enjoy life. Let's see. Three Wheeler said, don't ask me how I know that. Brent said, what up, Randy? Hello, Brent. Kevin says, do you think you would be in jail if you knew about everything you have done? Be honest. I know I wouldn't be in jail because I do everything to make sure. I'm not trying to say I'm perfect, but I don't do things to be in jail over. The worst thing I do is cuss and drive fast, and I don't drive that fast anymore. Let's see. Cosplay says, I love your accent. Is that from Tennessee? Nope, North Carolina. As a lot of people say, North Kakalaki. Splash says, where is your accent from? Didn't know I had one, but I live in North Carolina, like I just told Cosplay, and a lot of people call it North Kakalaki. John Deere said, Randy, the boogeyman behind you. Oh, wait, it's Butter Cheek. Randy said, what's up, Brent? Daryl says, I got to go. I got to get going. Got to have a premiere tonight. I don't have a premiere tonight. I'll try to make it back after I get it back. All right, Daryl, thank you. Y'all be careful. Three Wheeler said, hey, Brent. Nick Capone said, got any more members signs coming, Pops? Nope, nobody else has come up yet. I am redoing this wall so it will look different. Hopefully on the Mars Live it'll look different. But I do not have any more yet. Cosplay said, skip mine. Did I? If I did, I'm sorry. I did not mean to. Barbie said, hi, hello, Barbie. Haven't seen you in a while. Thank you. Hudson said, I'm from Australia. Hudson, we will get a pin for you in the world map. Thank you. Funk says, I'm 543 years old. You're an old person. Barbie's waving, hello, or saying hi, hello. Hudson said, from Australia, we'll get you a pin in. Thank you. Three Wheeler said, Barbie, what's up? John Deere said, hello, the person from Australia. Greetings from U.S. Alan said, do you still overdose on your farts? Nope, never have overdosed. Sold a bag one time for $20, but they never sent me an address. Funk says, be right back. Got to go change my diaper. Be careful. Barbie said, Wheeler, wave. Hudson said, from Australia. And Nick Capone said, G-Day, mate, how's Australia? Kitty said, hi, Three Wheeler. Funk says, can you help me change my diaper? Sure, come on over. Craig says, right on, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Same to you, Craig. Thank you for stopping in. 11 people in here, 25 thumbs up. Three Wheeler says, hi, Kitty. Lovely says, yeah, like, and I said, like I said, just awesome that one app can make you feel connected to people, but then one community, there seems like your family when you don't really have one. It's just awesome. Lovely, you are part of this family. Thank you. And like I said, there's a lot of great people in here that come in here every single night at 6 o'clock. and we try to do it every Sunday morning. So you are welcome. You are part of our family. Thank you. Alan says, are you still going to have your special guest SpongeBob on tonight? If he shows up, I will. Random says, are you a teacher? Nope. Kitty says, I wonder where Carl. Carla was in there earlier, I think. Let's see. Bearded says, why always crying? I don't know. You never know. People just feel that way, but it's not always that. Anyway, Funk says my diaper was brown streaks down the middle. Well, you might better get yourself worked on. Alan said, do you still use bright lipstick when you go out on the town? Kevin says I can't stop. I can't stop. Delta, delicious, whatever. Say, Grandpa, hello, how you doing? What is that? 102,577. Let's see. ABC. Would you settle down in a society where all things are free, or do you love money? I do not love money. I can tell you that right there. Money don't mean nothing to me. I can't get this stupid thing to work. Daggone it. Finally back from all right, sorry. This computer's being very slow. Let's see. Finally back from the milk. Let's see. Big says, here I am. Kitty missed you. Kitty said, hey, Carl, I missed you. Three Wheeler says, hi, Delissa. I know I'm saying that wrong. It looks like I'm just messing it up. But ABC said, smart man. Church of Dr. Fields is Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to y'all. 2026 is going to be a big year. Yes, I hope it is. We got big plans. Nickel Pony said, Pops, do you have big plans for New Year's Eve? I will be right here. Kevin said, I do want to do a burnout. I hope there's not a lot of people on the road because I really want to get out on the road and do it. Kevin says, I want to live in Africa village and trade livestock instead. That would be cool. Carlos says, how are you doing? How are you, Kitty? Alva says, do you use shoe shine on the top of your head every once in a while? Kitty said, I'm good. And you, Carl? Three Wheeler says, thank you, church. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Lovely says, yeah, I have learned that also there's a lot of awesome people here, and a great example is where everyone here expects for the trolls. We have one awesome community here, and I am happy to be a part of it. Nick Capone says, you too, church. I hope I'm not just reading this for nothing. Let's see. Alice says, can you watch one of your Barney the Dinosaur replay shows? ABC says, money is bitches. Get bitches. Nah, if that's what it takes, I don't want them. If they money hungry, let them go work for their own. Carlos said, that's good. Katrina, I'm good. Thanks. John Deere said, Randy, it might be time to upgrade to a new computer. It is a brand new computer. We've only had it a year, but I do plan on getting another. It's the internet's what it is. Lovely said, ABC, please please stop. Note the channel for that. Not the channel for that. Yes, please. Kitty said, yeah, Carl, I just was wondering where you finally, where you. She was wondering where you were. Now finally you're here. Kevin's laughing. ABC, lovely. It is America, not Nazi Germany. You're right. It is America, but this is our life here, and we're trying to have a good time and good positive. We don't do cussing, politics, religion, or controversial subjects because we're here to have a good time. There is young people in this life too, and we're all over the world. Three Wheeler says, what's the spam? What is this? Spam. Carlos said, yes, I came on when Pops read your comment. Where's Carl? Lovely said, spam? Question mark. Alan says, do you release your stress by letting the kids pull your finger? Yeah, buddy. Kitty said, oh, hello, Carl. Three Wheeler said, that. Pork chops. Hope everyone's doing well. Doing well. Hope you are. For 19 people, 25 thumbs up. Y'all help a man out, please. John Deere's laughing. Nutty says, Nutty needs to find another live if he's going to talk about stuff like that. We don't do politics. Lovely says, Alan, not the channel for that, please. Kevin said, time. Kitty's low. Carlos says, hee hee. Katina. Three Wheeler said, pork chop, thank you as well. Byron says, hello. Nutty says, weirdo. There's ABC said, decided what this live is for. I just told you what this live's for. It's for a group of people to come in here and have a good time, enjoy it, and have clean humor, and talk to people. We've got people all over the world to come in here. Pork Chop said, Junior's back feeling okay walking. Yes, he is actually back to work. He is on call. He'll probably have to go back to work tomorrow morning, but he is back to work. Lovely said, Byron, not the channel for that, please. ABC said, being happy is political, but it's not in here. Do you understand that? So, Three Wheeler says, Nutty's message got held for review. Boo-hoo. ABC said, Merry Christmas. ABC 103 says, Merry Christmas. Randy says, hey, Pork Chops, back walking and back to work. Mr. Stretch says, do you know how to keep from... Lovely says, Nutty, the only ones that are weird here is you and the trolls. Slacks says, oh man. John Deere said, hi. Lovely said, ABC, no, it's not, but we don't talk about being gay in here. Pork Chip says also to hear, I remember when I first saw the video of it happening, was really scary stuff. Yes, it was. Three Wheeler says, oh man. Man, oh man, oh man. Kevin says, Lovely, stop crying. No, Lovely is wanting it to be a good channel, so let's be polite, please. Randy says, yeah, video is hard to watch, but full recovery. Lovely says, I'm not crying, I'm just trying to help out. That's exactly right. You're doing a good job. Thank you, Lovely. Boggy said, Kevin, get a life. On Generation said, crack is the truth. Okay. Lowly Eaton says, what up, peeps? Hello, Eaton. 14 people in here, 26 thumbs up. Y'all help a man out. Hit that old like button, please. Eaton said, what's up, peeps? I just said that. Mr. Strap says, you change the fluid regularly. Three Wheeler says, Lloyd, hello, hello. Muffler said, greetings from Germany, brother. Germany, we will put a pin in for you. Mr. Stretch, let's change the subject of what you're trying to get me to read, or I'm going to get rid of you. Please. I don't want to do that, but I can't stand for people trying to make me read stupid shit. Carlos said, be right back, gotta run to the bathroom. Kitty said, okay. Three Wheeler says, Germany in the house. Greetings from America. Three Wheeler says, okay, big boys. Boggy says, Mr. Stretch, you also get a life, your basement dwelling dweeb of a troll. Well, it dropped down to 9 people, but we still got 26 likes. Thank y'all. Eaton says, I was going to say, what did I miss? But it sounds like you're over it. Oh, man, it's done and over with now. We just try to. Oh, if you're talking about that, we cut a tree and it fell on Randy. It's in the videos, and he spent 4 months in the wheelchair, but he is up and back to going and full recovery and back to work. You should go, if you haven't seen it, you should go back and watch the video. He's lucky to be alive. Muller said, greetings back, three-wheeler. I hope y'all are doing great. Three-wheeler said, sure, we sure are. Hope you are as well. Lovey said, when I come into a different communities, I sometimes learn the rules of them and then try to enforce them. That's what I was just doing because I know the channel rules here and I just want to help. And like I said, Lovely, you're doing fine. Thank you. Moeller said, sure am, my friend. Thank you. Eaton said, sorry to hear about that. Glad he is on his feet again. Yes, like I said, it's well worth the time to go back and watch the video because it shows just how quick a person's life can change. We're not promised tomorrow. So smile, be happy, try to do the best you can, and please be safe. Three-wheeler says, you're welcome. Very good. Nickel Pony says, do burn out New Year's Eve pops with remaining candles strapped to the top of the car. I thought about taking some steel wool and put it on the tires and lighting them. I've seen some people do it, and I'd like to try it. I think it'd be cool. The Nickel Pony said, Roman. Boggy says, lovely. You're fine. These 40-year-old trolls and 5-year-old with no parent supervisions that are the problem. You're exactly right. Boggy, that was well said. Thank you. 10 people in here, 28 thumbs up. Rick said, well, what did Rick say? Let me see if, did I not translate everything in English a minute ago? I have no idea what Rick's trying to say then, because it's not, Foxy, same way. I have no idea. Oh, favorite NBA team. I'm sorry, Foxy. I see what you're saying. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. I don't watch basketball. Boggy says both are results of not getting disciplined. You're exactly right, Boggy. Three-wheeler said 2 more likes to 30. Y'all double tap the screen. Yes, please do that for me. Favorite NBA team. Again, Foxy, I do not watch them and I don't care. I don't have one. Jason said, Rick said, woo! Y'all hit that like button for me, please. Especially you, Foxy. You made me read the same thing twice. I answered that twice. There we are, 30 thumbs up. 9 people in here. Thank y'all. I got 30. Appreciate it. Three-wheeler says, hey, Jason. Boggy says, I got my ass beat as a kid. Why can't you smart spank your kid on the hand or something? Jeez, people. Believe me, I got my fair share of ass whoopings. Most of them I deserve, but not all of them. Three-wheeler says, we got 30 likes. That's right. Well, it just showed 31. 15 people in here, 31 likes. Thank y'all. Nickel Pony said, same here, Buggy. And Randy, if you're still listening, I stopped that the one with the least amount, so we'll have to redo it again. Randy says, boy, I never got my ass busted at all. Randy the man said he was the favorite child. He didn't get whippings. Randy said, okay, thank you. We'll have to figure it out because it did straighten out after I did that. Kitty said, lol. Nickel Pony says, that's why I have an awesome bob and weave on this day. $12 people in here, 31 thumbs up. Randy says, I used to have a good bob and weave. Leftist says, remember, the only 3 more years and the president is gone forever. Be careful, Leftist, because you never know. We don't talk politics, but you never know what might happen. Boggy says, Olivia was the one who actually called, out of y'all, including Annie. Let's see. Libby was the one who actually out of all of us, including Annie, was the only one who never got her ass busted by my mother. Oh, really? B2R said, God bless America, bald eagles, and 12 people in here. Whoops, somebody took a like back. It's back to 30. Sorry, whoever I made unhappy. Three-wheeler said, drop a bowl one time, and my dad took me to the store and made me buy a new one with my own money, and that was one of the most important things he taught me. So you know from that I was raised right. You're exactly right. Bobby says, then again, she has always had to deal with medical problems that have time to get in trouble. Well, somebody give it back or something. There's 14 people in here, 31 thumbs up. Whoever give me the thumb up, thank you. Nickel Pony says, you don't need a bob and weave, Randy. You're unbreakable. He hope. He's got a sign on this Toyota truck that it says unbreakable, I hope. And then when he was putting it on, the eve fell off. It was kind of funny. Carlos says, I'm back, y'all. Buggy says, and her dad never raised a hand to a woman as well, and he didn't hit me. He made me work. Three-wheeler says, big boys is back. Nickel Pony's laughing. 13 people in here, 31 thumbs up. Three-wheeler said, oh, Carlos. John Deere says, I'm back. Had to go to the restroom. Buggy said, man, those were the days. Carlos said, what's up, 3? SD said hi. Hello, SD. 13 people in here, 31 thumbs up. There's Power Ranger. Hello, it's 0029 right now for me. Three-wheeler said, John Deere, hope it was good. Boggy said, did you tell you about the story where I almost lost my Shelby to a crackhead roommate's addiction? No, I didn't. Nope, I don't think so. Y'all hit that like button for me, please. Nickel Pony says, I have signed on the back window that says, Hemi is Indian word for more has please. Three-wheeler says, hi, Power Ranger. Nickel Pony said, gas. Buggy says, you want to hear it? Sure. Power Ranger says, I'll be right back. My son is screaming. You take care of your kid. Carlos says, Fifth River Rat says, I love your videos. Well, thank you. Three-wheeler says, Hello, Power Rangers. Good luck. River Rat, make sure you hit the thumbs up if you love my videos. I do appreciate it. 19 people in here, 31 thumbs up. Three Wheeler says thank you, Fifth River. Three Wheeler said hello, Carlos. Boggy says, so I was 19 and living in Jersey for a bit, and I was paying rent to these crack addicts. Bong says, I'm confused. Is gender fluid some kind of liquid? Never heard of it, so I don't know. Keep that on your side of town, please. Boggy said, little did I know they were stealing and selling my stuff. Man, that pissed me off. Carlos says, he 3. Power Ranger said, cheers, Three Wheeler. Bon Jovi, you ask him kind of stupid questions. Could you at least give a thumbs up for me reading your stupid question? Guess not. 14 people in here, 31 thumbs up. They must have been scrolling through, just say something stupid and run. NA said, what projects are we working on? Well, today we actually put exhaust on a SS 1500 truck and did some work on it. And we actually pulled a Volvo car in to take the power steering unit off to put it on my burnout car. And I might take the front end off of the Volvo to pull the motor to see if I can get it going. And if we do, we're going to put it in an 84 Nissan. We got all kinds of projects, way more than we can talk about, I can tell you that. Boggy says, first it was small stuff like cheap watches, and I blew through anyway, didn't really care about that. Bon Jovi says, I'm number 31. All right, thank you. Boggy says, I see it went up to 32. Thank you. Boggy says, when it was my $500 hockey puck from the Ducks last game for that season. Ooh, that ain't good. NA said, nice, thumbs up, thank you. Power Ranger says, yeah, a bit. Just blurry. Goop said, sir, did you think someday we could meet and make hamburger helper together? Hey, you never know. We might be able to. I tell everybody's welcome. Bon Jovi said, I want to do a TDI swap on a Toyota pickup. Randy wants to do the same thing. But we got a 88 Toyota, and he's wanting to get it's 4-wheel drive, and he's wanting to get a 2-wheel drive and do the same thing. Adam said, hey, hello, Adam. Gator said, howdy, cold there yet? No, it was nice today, but it's supposed to be cold tomorrow. Boggy says, then I caught the guy trying to sell my Shelby on some website. I shut that joint down real fast. I bet so. Good thing you did. Three Wheeler said, Grease Spot, what's up? Alik said, brother, can you loan me $20? I'll tell you what I'll do, Alik. If you'll donate 40, I'll loan you 20 with 5% interest. Three Wheeler said, Gator, what's up? Adam says, love it when other people try to sell your car. Boggy, by the way, can I get a good deal on it? I don't know if he will, Adam, but you can buy it from me. I'll sell it to you. Then you just go talk to Boggy to pick it up. Gator said, hey, Grease Spot and Wheeler. Three Wheeler said, you should get a TTS, Pops. Not a bad idea. On King said, what son is better? On King said, hi, my friends laughing. Adam said, three will. 23 people in here, 34 thumbs up. Help a brother out. Y'all give me some thumbs up. Got to be more people coming in here. Three Wheeler says, hi, O King. Custom Builders says, can I get a shout out? Well, there's Custom Builders BTTX. There you go. Thank you. Can I get a like from you, please? Power Ranger said, my brother just moved to America and got a Mustang, though he had crashed it, so it's asking me to fix it since I fix cars, but a Mustang is pretty hard. JJ Johnson said, what's up from Key West? Hey, I got some family in Key West. Hope you're doing well. Kevin said, hello, I'm back. Welcome back, Kevin. Boggy says, and later that year, a guy came out to look at it, and I told him it wasn't for sale. He showed me more damn pictures, so I said enough was enough. Beat the snot out of him and went west to run. I don't blame you, Boggy. Three Wheeler says, hey, JJ Johnson, welcome, Key West. You know something? I will write Key West down here. We do have a world map. I will put a pin in for you, Key West. Thank you for stopping in. Adam says, sounds like a plan, Pops. I'm sending you the 20 now. It means it is a Ford. Buggy said, no, there's not. There's pretty sympathetic. My friend, I live in Raleigh, North Carolina. Too many people have moved here. Yeah, Raleigh ain't but about 2 hours from us. Matthew said, do you like orange? It's my favorite color. Power Ranger says, how hard is it in America to fix a Mustang? No harder than it is to fix any of the other vehicles. I think Mustangs are easier to crash because a lot of people do it. 21 people in here, 36 thumbs up. Three Wheeler says, lovely, you still here? John said, hey brother, what's up? Not much. How about for you, John? Welcome. Buggy said, it isn't hard to, it one of the most worked on cars along with the Civics. Three Wheeler says, hi, John Paso. Tom Cook says Niagara Falls. Hey, I will. If you're from Niagara Falls, I will get you a pin in Niagara Falls. My friend says, are you east or west of Raleigh? I'm around here around High Point. High Point, Greensboro, just below it. It's actually Denton, North Carolina, but I mean, a lot of people hadn't heard of Denton. They've heard of High Point, Thomasville, Greensboro. Three Wheeler said Buffalo here. Buffalo here, Tom Cook, not too far. Adam says in America, one of the most restored cars is a Mustang. Mustache. Boggy says, hell no, Adam, you ain't getting my car for $20. They're about 73,000. Fit into that the cat's entire lifespan. Hey, Boggy, just gonna look at it. Just give him the keys. Adam said, Mustang. Power Ranger said, it's hard for me, dude. It's hard for me. Do not many people in Ireland have one? Ryan said, what's up, buddy? Hello, Ryan. Hope you're doing well. Adam said, okay, well, he is selling it, not you. My friend said, oh, okay. Three Wheeler said, hi, Ryan. RL, let's just say shot. Did you hear they arrested the devil? Yeah, they got him on possession. My friend says, I know Denton. Well, that's where we're at, my friend. Right there on the corner of 49 and 109. Lovely said hi, Adam. Adam said, Power Rangers, the problem with you restoring them is getting the parts and paying for all those taxes and free fees for shipping. John Deere said, hit the like button, guys, please. Yes, pretty please. Adam said, JD. Buggy said, like hell he is. I don't trust my sister with the keys. Power Ranger says, I know that's why it's just pretty hard. Matthew said, hi, Adam. Buggy said, and hell no, Pops ain't. And Adam said, lovely. Three-wheeler said, hi, Matthew. Adam said, Matthew. Matthew says, how are you? I'm doing great. Hope you are. Power Ranger says, I hate shipping. 18 people in here, 38 thumbs up. Got about 19 more minutes in here. I'd love to see 50 if y'all call a friend. Adam said, Boggy, just pulling your leg. By the way, I need one of those too. Power Ranger says, I usually just help put the car back together and do the taxes. Three-wheeler says 92 minutes left. Minutes left. Buggy, I figured that what the emphasis on the hell in hell no. Matthew said, Adam, I almost got out of here Christmas Day. Matt says, when is this project going to be done? These projects never done. Kevin says, I'm not liking this live. Sorry, but I still love you. All right. I'm sorry you're not liking it, Kevin. Maybe come back tomorrow. Sorry that you don't like it. I thought it was going pretty good. Angel says, I cannot focus. You're all I'm seeing. Blunt says, do you set the P? No. Do you think I'm... Never mind. Ryan says, I'm hooking up a new dryer vent for the wifey. Wish me luck. Good luck, Ryan. Three-wheeler 7, Kevin, what do you mean? Power Ranger says, this live makes me feel better. It makes me feel better. I don't understand. I know that there was a lot of trolls earlier, but it's calmed down. We got a couple in there says something, but it's not bad. Adam said, right, when he is going to finish them. We're waiting on Adam to help us out. He said he was going to come help me build the motor. Kevin said, you didn't stick up for me when the person told me to get a life. I thought I did. I thought I said that I do remember them saying it, but I thought I told them that if I didn't, I'm sorry. I don't remember what you said for them to say that. You said something to somebody, Lovely, I believe, and that's the reason they said that, I believe, because Lovely was only trying to enforce the rules here. Blunt says, Dixon Mason. Boggy said, Kevin is being annoying, three-wheeler. Well, evidently we hurt Kevin's feelings. I'm sorry. I mean, anyway, John says, don't pay attention to these punks, brother. Three-wheeler says, Funk says, mega. 22 people, 39 thumbs up. Matthew said, well, I almost escaped without medical permission, Adam. Boggy says, no, you didn't, because I said it when he was getting mean with Lovely. Yeah, that's what it was. He said something to Lovely, and Lovely was just trying to enforce the rules. That's why I didn't say anything about it, because she was just trying to help out. Adam says, okay, got to go. Randy, Boggy, Matthew, JD, and all the others, have a great night. You too, Adam. Thank you for stopping in. Three Wheeler said, Kevin told Lovely to stop crying, and Boggy said, get a life. Yeah, there you go. They're just trying to take up for each other because Boggy knew Lovely was just trying to enforce the rules. Power Ranger says, why the hell are engines so hard to put together? I don't know. I guess so everybody can do it, I guess. Power Ranger said, it's so hard. Three Wheeler says, don't mean to call you out now, Boggy. No, you're right, and Boggy was just trying to basically protect Lovely, so everybody's fine. Matthew says, bye, Adam. Juven said, Ryan, not that hard. Are you doing pipe and wall, flex, or vent crap? Pipe. I said engines. You talking about the vent pipe, aren't you? Sorry. Funk says, Maga. Marsha said, can I get a shout out? I subscribe. Is it Marsha? Marsha said, hello, Marsha. T2Y8K. Boggy says, take care, Adam. Adam says, I'll be going live tomorrow around 1:30 doing an engine assembly on an LS. All right, Adam, we'll see if we can get a part of it. Boggy says, don't worry, these three Wheeler, I called myself out first. Power Ranger says, I will watch. Lovely says, what did I do wrong? Now, you didn't do nothing wrong, nothing at all, Lovely. Nothing. We are talking about what you were trying to do and somebody said something to you. You did nothing wrong. Kill the Batman said, rules are rules. That's exactly right. Three Wheeler says, oh, I seen that, Boggy. Thank you. Adam said, 1:30 p. Eastern time. Kill the Batman said, do you have any other color besides orange for a shirt? I do, but you will only see me wear orange and yellow. Yellow's when I have to work at the railroad. Boggy says, and I stand on my statement. If you're gonna say mean stuff, like I said, Lovely was just trying to help out. So I don't. It's all good. Let's. It's behind us. Let's go on about our business. Three Wheeler said, did you? You did absolutely nothing wrong, Lovely. Don't worry. That's right. Professor said, good evening again. Hello, Professor. 19 people in here, 39 thumbs up. Y'all help me out, please. Professor said hi. David said hi. Joven said Ryan mentioned he was putting a new dryer vent in for his wife. He did. I believe I said something wrong just a minute ago, but it was already gone. Professor said, I need to ask you to mind me coming over for a Pepsi. I do not. You're welcome to come over for a Pepsi. Three Wheeler said, hi, Professor. Hi, David. Boggy says, yeah, did everything lovely. Hee hee. No, I'm just playing much love to keep up love. Gene said, I don't know what they're trying to say. Ryan said, it's a shitty setup and I hate dust. 6603 is laughing. Ching said, NGA. Kill the Batman says, are you at work? Nope, this is my son's building. We come here to enjoy life, do YouTube, work on wheels. Sell wheels, tires, work on our own stuff, and do burnouts. Three Wheeler said, one more light to 40. Y'all double tap that screen. Yes, please. Boys says, you can apologize for your ancestors' wrongdoings. Why would I apologize for them? I didn't do it. I'm not apologizing for somebody else. Julian says, Bo, build a bridge and get over it. There you go. Power Ranger says, one time a kid came in with his grandma's car and was like so badly damaged that it couldn't be fixed. And the kid said, so just put the oil in it. He was like 15, 16 and don't know much about stuff. Oh, is this? Wait a minute. Yo, hold it. Can I? All right. I have no idea what you're trying to say, BFD. Lovely says, can you stay here for a while longer than 8 p.m.? Well, I got some things I try to do after 8, but it depends on how long you're talking about. Three Wheeler says, we got 40 likes. Yes, we do. Thank y'all very much. Super says, can you shout my... Can you shout out my... her name's Cinnamon. Cinnamon! Jay says, I can sell this would be a chill day to have a beer with. If I drank beer, I'd say I'd do it, but I don't drink beer. Jubilant says, well, you got to clean the vent every so often and change the filter and make sure the dryer is serviced so that it doesn't throw dust through the dryer. Jay says, I can tell this world be cool dude to have a beer with. Michael says, do they make that shirt for men? Oh, Lord. Power Ranger said, so I asked the kid, where's your grandma? He said, jail. And then they just ran away. It was super weird. Uncle Charles said, can I adopt you? Michael says, gotcha. Yeah. You got me, I guess. I really didn't, I didn't have a comeback for it. But while you're out there, can you hit the like button for me? Let's see. 3053 says, hey, I'm a new subscriber. You are officially my favorite non-binary streamer on YouTube. Thank you. Uncle Charles said, so no. Hey, how rich are you? I'll tell you if you can adopt me. Julian said, don't forget to subscribe. Yes, please. Three Wheeler says, where are the mods? Power Ranger says, question, what is the one time you couldn't fix a car? We usually fix them. I mean, we do something with them. Michael said, yes, sir. I did it now. Take the pants off. Just kidding. Randy says, I haven't been reading much. Just said, we don't need, if y'all folks act like that, go get some sense. Uncle Charles says, I'm rich enough to buy honey buns and a pack of Miller. Hell, I've got that kind of money. No, I don't need to be adopted then. Three Wheeler says, Randy, you're here though. John Deere said, hit the like button, guys. Uncle Charles said, hopefully that works. Gaming's got a frog. Randy says, I'm here. Remember, people have a life to live. Can't be here all the time, and we understand. Buggy says, in my 20 years of working on cars, I have never seen one that is beyond repair. Power Rangers, I have twice. James says, gaming means unemployed adult living at home with your mommy. Juven said, favorite car to work on. Well, I like to fix them up. I really don't like to work on them. I mean, if I buy one that needs some work, we get it going, that's fine. But I really don't like to work on them. I like to fix them up. Juven said, I like Fords. They're okay, but I would rather have GMC or Chevrolet. Randy said, heck, James, I like gaming. Mikey said, I've seen totaled, but that's a non-repair much more expensive. Yeah, if you got the money, it can be fixed. Mike said, you're my favorite streamer. Then Mike says, love you, dude. Mike Aboni said, my favorite to work on is someone else's instead of mine. Jewel said, okay. 18 people, 41 thumbs up. I hope, now I haven't got to check, but I hope we got enough subscribers to put us over 3.2. I hope. We didn't need but a couple more. I hope that does it for tonight, but let's see what else we got here. Jovan said, ain't that the truth? Three Wheeler said, absolutely, Randy, don't you worry. You do you, my friend. Jovan said, the. 11 people in here, 41 thumbs up. Power Range says, what's yours, Jovan? Man, I ain't got no 3 more minutes. Let's see. Randy said showing 3203. That means we made it then. Thank y'all very much for tonight. That actually puts us over 3,200. You know, so I like working on anything electronical, mechanical. Yeah, that word. John Deere said, hit the like button, guys. Let's see. Tramp said, are you a batty man? No, I don't think so. Joe says, my family builds race cars. Awesome. Power Ranger says, I like automatic. I like that straight gear. I don't like that old sissy shit. J4 says, do you like Israel? I like everybody. We're all human. Well, to me, we're all got a right to be on this earth. I don't see what all the fighting's for. Power Ranger said, that's cool. Jim said, dragsters, cars, drag bikes, etc. Man, might need to keep you close. Might need some parts. We do burnout cars, and we do take our burnout cars down to drag strip, but nothing, we ain't got no dragsters or nothing, but if you got any extra parts, let us know. Randy says, I want to learn how to do a lot more than I know. I want to learn how to build engines and transmissions. J4 said, lover. And says, oh, you deaf and baldy, dude. Baldy man. Jim said, I want to build my own car one day, although through about an LS swap for my Crown Vic, but everyone has an LS in these days. Joe said, did you hear about the new solar panel that produces coal? Nope. James says, giving foreign countries trillions of taxpayer dollars, why not like? Power Range, you can do it. You can do it. Oh, Lord have mercy. All right, everybody. I'm not going to make my 50 like I normally do. There's been a lot of trolls coming in here. I've about had enough for tonight. Y'all have a good day, good night whenever you're watching this. And remember, keep it silly. Thank y'all.